oranges and go, fuck yeah. And then I bring them home. And I'm like, I don't even want that. And then I go, yeah, but what if you cut it up? And I'm like, I'd love a little slice of orange.
Yeah, I love a little bit of
And then I
orange.
eat the whole thing. That's crazy. I don't know what that is.
Bro, the worst we had a night at Connor's parents' place.
Yeah.
Like, it was an awesome night, like, a few beers and whatnot. And Connor's mum made this rule of, like, you're only allowed to have one snack each when we came over and had a fun time. Because we used to just ravage their pantry. So she's like, you're allowed one snack. My go-to was always a can of peaches. Can't go wrong with a good can of peaches.
Solid.
So I'd smash that back, but passed out on the couch and woke up, and the bro Hugh was asleep on the couch next to me. And I woke up in the morning to Connor's mum, like, just, who's done it? And, like, angry as. She was making lunch for Connor's dad to go to work. And then she, like, walked in the lounge and just yells out Hugh's name. And I, like, look down to the side, and there's, like, a little table next to the couch. Just a pile of mandarin, like, skins. And, like, no, he would have gone through a fresh bag of mandarins.
No way.
Just smashed them all out. And she, like, came in the lounge like, who fucking ate that? And Hugh's there, like, dusty as, sits up to Connor's mum, just like, why did you do that?
Tearing into
His defense was, you said one snack, and she was like, yeah,
like one mandarin cunt. No,
yeah, not all of them.
Not now you claim all mandarins
Yeah.
they're your snack.
And I just like look over and just, it's just that mental image of just a pile of mandarin skins.
That's hilarious. That's a commitment. I don't know if I get that enough of a hit out of mandarins to do a full bag. I reckon I'd probably tap it about 3, maybe 4 would be pushing it. I think mandarins.
Yeah,
I don't know if I get more than that.
They're good, but yeah, 2 or 3 is a good little.
Yeah,
It'll fill
one's
you up.
solid. It's
Yeah.
like, nice. Good mandarin. I'm gonna go back and do 12 more. It's like, what the fuck? Dude must have been cooked.
Oh yeah, he was having a hell of a time.
Yeah.
But I don't remember him, so I went to sleep first, and then that's years ago. This happened probably just close to 10 years or whatever, and like still just Hugh denies all of it. He's like, I didn't eat all those mandarins. He's like, I know I didn't eat all those mandarins. And it's like, they're all next to you, bro. Like, in hand's reach from where you were sleeping.
Imagine one of the homies just fucking framed him.
Yeah, I was like, I wouldn't put it past Connor to do it, but at the same time, like, the evidence was all there, bro.
That's carry up.
Not a single one was in the rubbish. Just on the table next to
Don't
him.
even get rid of the evidence, eh? Just a pile of arrogance sitting next to him in the morning being like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I love that.
And then old Ian came out to go to work, and yeah, he was devastated there were no mandarins for lunch.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired anyway.
Yeah, well, you've been working bloody hard around here.
Yep, it's a good looking spot. Can't complain.
Hell no.
I really like this whole idea of this spot. Me and Lou did it last night for the first time, sort of filming out. It's dark, so you can't see anything.
Yeah.
But just this sort of this vibe.
The sounds as well.
Yeah, not having the camera right at you either when you're recording and stuff, so it doesn't feel like it's so intense. You know?
Yeah.
You can kind of just do your thing, and when it's daytime, like that's why I set it up on the chair, so you can see a bit of the water and stuff while we're looking at. Probably got a better view than us. This thing's always in the way. It's like, yeah, great view.
You can like sink into the seats, but the more you sink in,
Yeah,
the more you lose.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see it all, but I want to be comfortable.
Yeah. I try to go real low. Like I want to commit so hard that the horizon's below this thing. I just sink right into
I want
it.
to get it right down there.
Yeah.
Knowing full well it's going to spoil a part of it.
How often do you listen to podcasts?
A lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you listen to?
The main ones I listen to, or the one I listen to the most is Have a Word. It's a British comedy podcast.
Yeah.
It's awesome. They got a massive Patreon. It's the biggest in the UK and the top 15 of the world.
Wow.
For Patreons.
Wow.
Yeah. When I joined that, when they had 2,000 Patreons, I joined.
How does it work, Patreon?
It's like a monthly subscription. So
Yeah.
theirs is in pounds. So there's 3 tiers. Cheapest is £3, £5, £10. the higher you pay, obviously the more perks you get with it. So I've been £10 Patreon since they had 2,000. They're almost at just below 30. I think they're at 29,000 and something now. But yeah, I do £10 a month, which is I think in Australian it's like $22 something.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get like they do their normal public releases on YouTube, and I listen on Spotify. But then they do Patreon releases of an extra episode a week, and then once a month they do a Patreon special where they use the money from the Patreon to create a special.
Okay.
And they do a wide range of things that they did. They've done roast battles, ghost hunting. They did a massive charity fundraiser where they cycled across India.
Wow.
Yeah, over a few days to raise for a place in Liverpool called Zoe's Place. It's like a children's hospice.
Oh yeah.
For like kids that are going through it.
Yeah.
To support their families, they got a place to stay and faculties and that. And they did the big Patreon special right across India, and I think that raised like over 20 odd £1,000
That's so
to
cool.
go towards charity.
What a great way to use the platform.
Yeah, and then they also obviously donated their own portions on top,
Yeah, yeah.
where they do stuff like that, and then they just do random specials. They did one where they all did mushrooms, played like mini golf in that this place in Liverpool, and then like
Imagine that room, what do we do for the special? I really wanted to take mushrooms this weekend.
yeah, let's just go do some drugs.
Let's film it.
Yeah.
Let's film it. What are we gonna do? Let's play mini golf.
So they do stuff like they do heaps of random. They did like a farming special
Yeah.
where it's like comedians who have never done that sort of thing, and they go to a farm and they're obviously like
Useless.
taking the piss, and doing jokes. But it's funny because like from a farmer's like an ex-farmer myself perspective, you can see why the dude who's the farmer they've gone to like do the special with, you can see when he's getting annoyed with them.
Yeah.
Because they're dealing with these cattle and they're trying to get them into the yards, and the guys are all like standing at the gateway and like moving around and making noise, and the farmer's like, "All right, piss off, we've actually got to do this job." And they're like, "Oh, let's make jokes," and he's like, "No, like, can you guys actually fuck off for a second so we can do this?" And it's like, yeah, it's funny because I know the comedy side, but I also understand where the farmer's coming from.
He's like, I've got a day's work to do. This is one of the things.
Yeah.
This isn't the whole day. Let me just get the cows in here so we can do some other shit.
Yeah, and they're like, they're just constantly taking the piss. They've done like heaps of specials now, but I think publicly they're at like 310 public episodes. Patreons they're at like 200 and something. They've got like 50 odd specials, and yeah, they've been going for like 5 years now.
So you can only really access those ones if you pay for the...
Yeah, the Patreon specials and exclusives and stuff, that's only if you got a subscription.
Yeah.
But yeah, the public episodes, it's the same. Like the public ones come out on a Monday, our time.
Yeah.
But if you're a patron, you get it on a Saturday morning.
That's quite
So
cool.
yeah, you can get them like a couple of days beforehand, or
wicked.
But I don't listen to the early drops.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it publicly in a few days anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, the episodes range. They're usually around 2 and a bit hours long.
Yeah.
Episodes, yeah.
I'm thinking about doing a GoFundMe for this, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I really want to sell T-shirts, but I can't afford to make T-shirts.
The merch side was, yeah.
Yeah. I've got, like that one I was wearing before. Did you see that?
I didn't take notice of it, sorry.
I'll grab it. So this will be the first release for the public.
Yo,
So it's got Universal Basics, TCC on the front, and then on the back it's got Only Dead Fish Go With The Flow. And then the conversation concept. It's quite a cool
Yeah, it's a sick little concept.
design.
It's
Eh?
nice.
Yeah, Emily sussed it. She did all of the design. We kind of worked on it together in terms of colours and stuff, but that whole back piece she came up with that.
Yeah.
But the reason for the GoFundMe is because, this is dope. I've had so many people that I show them and they go, yeah, I'd love to buy one of those.
Yeah.
And I'd love to facilitate that. It's just kind of hard for me to
Start it up to get it going.
start it up. Yeah, so I could probably, I reckon by the end of the year, I could start buying T-shirts and selling them and doing it that way. But I figure if I do something like a GoFundMe or a Patreon, then I can create, because the whole thing is free food, water and shelter. So if I can sort of make the T-shirts free, so if
And
people
then start, yeah.
like if people donate to the cause in general, not for the purpose of just buying t-shirts, but they sort of donate towards it, then I can make t-shirts and then that spreads the message, because people then see the t-shirt and go, that's sick, where'd you get that? Oh, it's from this conversation concept, which I think makes
literally
so
starts a
much
conversation
sense,
about
yeah,
it.
Exactly. It becomes the source of it, and people that wear the merch then are also, which is how merch works, but it's cool because then people become advocates and contributors towards the conversation happening out in public, which I think is the main goal, really.
If they get that concept too, then they can push that conversation with
Yeah.
whoever they're talking to.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah.
Especially on nights out when if you wear cool clothing or something, and then someone's like, bro, your t-shirt's real cool.
Yeah.
And then you can just trap them and be like, bro, what do you think of this conversation?
Oh, you think it's cool, do you?
Yeah, let's talk about this then, bro. You're not getting away from me.
Yeah, yeah. And to be fair, during those situations, it's probably when people are most open to those ideas.
Yeah.
It's either one way or the other. It's either, what do you think about food, water, and shelter being free? And someone's like, oh, okay. Yeah, fuck. Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And away you go. Or they just go, shut up, bro.
Yeah, like, I'm all
man.
good, bro.
I'm not. This isn't happening. We're not about to go down this road.
I always feel sorry for those people, like, in the streets that have, like, the clipboards and that. I'm like, hey, do you mind if you stop for a second? It's like, no.
Yeah. I've talked to some of those people and asked them what their cuts are, what they get, how they work. And, for example, what is it? I can't remember the name of it. It's probably better not to name and shame. But anyway, some dude on the street in Dublin selling some stuff, and big corporation, bro, big charity and all that. And I just went, what's the deal? What do you get paid? And he's basically said crumbs. He's like, oh, you paid fuck all. And I was like, oh, yeah, how's it work? He's like, it's all based on how many people we sign up. But it's not only that your money is based on how many people you sign up. If you don't meet quotas, then you're fired.
Oh, shit.
End of. No 2 weeks, no nothing. It's just done. You're out.
And so I just went, you're expendable.
Oh, that's pretty friggin' savage for a charity. Like,
oh.
It's just, god damn.
So that question of like, what makes you want to work here? What makes you need me to work here?
Yeah. It's a strange one in terms of spreading a message and trying to make a positive change, especially in the idea of a charity and stuff, because there's so many problems, or well, not problems, but situations in terms of the world that are going on, that any one person, even the richest person in the world, to contribute the money that they have towards it, it will do so much. And I'm not saying it doesn't contribute, but it's like you can't, you can't make a horse drink water. You can give people everything they need, but sometimes the foundational reasons behind whatever economy or society being in that state is way deeper than just they don't have the money. It's like, they're actually reeling from years of war and everybody's fucked up and angry, and that's not okay,
Yeah, it's sad. They just don't do it. There's ones I've been to in Aussie that I've like walked up to and seen them outside like supermarkets or the old servo. I still just calling it a servo is so weird to me. But like you see them out front, and I've gone up to a few of them and like tried giving them cash, and they refuse it for like charity. You're like, oh, I've got cash, I'll donate it, and they're like, oh no, you got to do online survey. We'll send you a link, and then you sign up, and then you can set up transactions. And like, but can you take this now to go towards a charity? And they're like, no, we can't take that.
Yeah.
But you guys are advocating for money for the charity. This is
That's
as real as it gets.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, no, we can't. You've got to go online and do all these things. And that's where it's like,
what are you doing?
It's like, I'm kind of probably not going to do that because I don't reply to my friends' messages, let alone go onto a forum and sign all that sort of stuff.
My mum's still waiting for a call, bro.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to go home and be like, oh, instead of calling my mate about that very important thing, let me just sign up through these 10 pages first. Read the T's and C's about giving you money.
Yeah.
But what you could do is just take this $50 I've got in my hand, chuck it in that bucket you got in front of you, take it back, and they're like, nah. But,
so silly. I've decided from now on I'm just going to give them cash and not let that conversation happen.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give them $10 or $20 or $50 or whatever and go, here you go. And they go, no, I can't take that. It's like, it's for you. Yeah. What do you mean? Well, bro, I don't know what you're supporting, but what I do know is that you need money because that's why you're here.
Yeah, that's why you're doing this.
So here's a tip on me for fucking being out here all day and trying to interact with humans, which is a really hard thing to do. But I'm
Getting
not
shunned
gonna.
by most of society.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you my email. I'm not gonna do all of that.
Yeah.
I got other shit to do. But if you want it, it's yours. And if you don't, I will take it. It's fine. I don't mind having more money.
Well, give us your email. I'm not going to say it out loud because it's the same email I've had since I was 12. And 12-year-old me was, I want to be a cool guy.
What is it?
No, it's like
Go on,
my
man.
old email is still active. I haven't logged into it in way too long.
I gotta know.
But my current email is just my first and last name.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Like
Give me
I've
the
managed.
other
No.
one. Come on. Come on.
All right. Oh, I hate this. It was a nickname I got given by a few teachers.
Yeah.
When I was playing sport like rugby and that, and it stuck for a few years until I went to college.
Yeah, what was it?
It was ADOS.
ADOS. That's gangster. That could have been way worse, bro.
Yeah, but that's it was when I went to college. I was like, bro, new me.
No more ADOS,
no more
bro.
ADOS, bro.
Nah.
So I've got to figure something else out. And then my nickname all through college was Grasshopper.
Oh, yeah.
And that got handed, same thing from teachers and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, yo.
The original grasshopper.
It was when I was like still in college and that. And like going to like back when I used to go to like back when EB Games was the only place to get good video games and whatnot.
Yeah.
Go in there and they're like, oh, what's your email so we can sign you up? And like leaning over the counter and being like, ADOS at Hotmail.
The Hotmail too.
Yeah.
It's always a Hotmail.
And then them being like, how do you spell it? And you're like, crap. You're like in the store with customers behind you.
Just red in the face.
Just like, it's AIDOS.
Right. I used to get called Shrimpy.
Shrimpy?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
From being a little mother. Yeah, I was tiny, bro. I still am in some ways, but it's it was funny, and then it spread. And then it was like, I don't want people to call me this. And then I definitely had an email. I had a Shrimpy Hotmail at some point. It was my Snapchat handle. My gamer handle on COD was Crossbow Guy DVK. That one was terrible.
Danny
Bro, played one game where I did well with a crossbow. I was like, I'm a crossbow guy.
Yeah.
Nah, it was actually my sister's partner at the time made me that account. He goes, you're a crossbow guy. I was like, yeah. He's like, I'll put DVK in there. I was like, yeah, he thinks it's cool. And the rest of my life, I just wished that I had spoken up and just said, just put Seamus.
I've seen PSN's letting you change your username once.
Oh, yeah.
Like you get one free shot. And I've had the same username handle since 2012, which was my neighbour's old pet dog. It was an awesome dog.
Yeah.
And I named it after him when he passed away. So it was Drookie 2012.
Yeah.
And it's been that the whole time. And then it's like when I tried changing it before they allowed you to do the one-off.
Yeah.
I tried changing it and it was like, you have to make a whole new account.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I've got like over a decade worth of game logs on this.
And stuff, yeah.
And so I haven't done it. It's that constant fear of like, I want to get a good username, but I don't want to change it and then be like, I regret that. Like,
yeah.
Don't do the same thing. Like, oh yeah, I'm real good on this pistol. Pistol whipper.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
And then a month later be like,
Pistol Whip 2012.
Yeah, you're like, I can't do that
Gets to
anymore.
2013, you're like, I want to delete I'm just going to throw the PlayStation outside.
Yeah.
I'm just going to break it.
It's also real bad looking back at stats, though. Because I've noticed on the PlayStation, it's the bottom right corner when you're hovering over a game says how many hours you put into it.
Yeah, bro.
And when I got told that, I was like, ooh, what game would I have the worst one on? So I went back and it's Red Dead 2.
What do you got?
Like close to 900 hours.
Oh. That's solid, bro. You got to do 100 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well.
I'm getting there.
Round it out.
Because I've done it like I've clocked the storyline 5 times.
Dude.
It's just such a good bloody game.
Yeah?
It's so good.
That good?
Oh, yeah.
Is this, did you say 2?
Red Dead 2.
Yeah, I played Red Dead 1. I finished that a couple times.
Yeah, Red Dead 1 was a bloody
Well, I finished
awesome
it once
game.
and then went on and, did all the side shit and ran around, had fun, looked for a white horse.
Yeah, on the second one, trying to do everything is
hard.
nigh on impossible.
Really? It looks like there's a lot more in the second one, though. It was a real good improvement, Sometimes games don't get better as they
Massively.
go along, but it seemed like Red Dead 2 really, you know.
And
Do they still have the Undead Nightmare in Red Dead 2 where you can play zombies?
No, I think they're bringing out that feature at some point.
Yeah.
They have brought back, you can play Red Dead 1 through the second one.
Yeah.
Like, if you got the game in there, then you can choose to like buy a DLC, which is basically just a remastered Red Dead 1, I think. I haven't really done it. But yeah, it's an awesome storyline. It captures everything. Like, it's nuts. The first time I played it through, I got like 3/4 of the way through, and this massive thing happens, and I was like, oh, maybe this is impacted by like my honor level and the way I played the game. So I was like, no, I don't want this to be the real storyline. So I deleted that save, started a new save, and was like high honor, do everything like be the best person I could in the game, like not kill any NPCs I didn't need to or anything like that. And then got to that point, and the same thing happened.
Yeah.
And then I like looked it up, and it was like that's how the storyline goes. And I was like, that's like 100 hours that I've just thrown down the drain, racked up another 100 and then found out the same thing.
Yeah.
And I did immediately be like,
that would have been worth
I'm going to go on a killing spree.
Yeah.
I'm going to save the game here, turn off autosave, have fun,
go.
and then I'm going to come back and carry on where I left off.
Bro, the Wild West is just a crazy. We just finished that American Primeville.
Oh yeah. I've seen clips. I haven't watched it.
I'd recommend it, man.
Real good.
Yeah, I jumped in at episode 4 and watched the last 4. Yeah, phenomenal.
Nice.
It's only sort of caught me up on the gist of it, but I got there when everything was going down. It was coming towards the end, you know. So
it's good when you can manage that from a show.
Yeah, I immediately fell in love with characters. I like certain things about it. The cinematography and stuff is really impressive. The storyline's cool, and the way that it brings you in is pretty immediate. Is
it like a flowing storyline?
Yeah.
No.
It's sort of, there's a few things at play. There's a couple, there's sort of, you could call them main characters in that, but it's all about Mormons trying to take over land in Utah, and the way that
was it take over by force or?
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's the way that mission sort of affects Native Americans, you know, like the Indian tribes, and then your classic American white man as well involved in it all. That's a big ass cicada,
cicada.
Bro, they pull up. I've my whole life cicadas have always been impossible to see, but out here on this wood, they just always come and chill. It's so trippy.
Have you held one before?
Yeah, yeah. I had one the other day that was inside, and I picked him up. I was like, "Yo, good bird." And he was just looking at me, and I couldn't understand what was going on. I figured probably saw a broken wing or some shit.
Yeah.
Went for a walk outside, tried to put him on the wood. He wasn't having it, just wouldn't get off my hand. I was like, all right, walk down to the bushes. Maybe you're a green kind of guy. I'll put you in the nature. So I, for ages, just trying to like get him off my hand. I was having chats with him, looking at him, being like, what do you want, man? What do you know? And eventually I had a leaf, and I was borderline like shaking him off onto the leaf. And the second the last leg of his left my hand, he just flew away. I was like, what the fuck? What just happened?
What are you up to?
Yeah, that could be him. It's just it. Fuck it hell.
It's always funny when you hear them, and it's just that nature of like, I want to see where that's coming from.
Yeah.
When you like search the fucking backyard and you see it like on a fence post somewhere.
Yeah.
Then you see it and you're like, oh yo, and then just go about your day and just leave them.
They stop making their noise once they're in line of sight. A lot of times you see them and they're like, and then you look at them and they're just like.
It's like they're shy about it.
Yeah.
But bro, you're making the commotion, and when I acknowledge you for it, you stop. Like, now you're making me feel like you're not doing it.
It must be pretty wild having a giant just looking down at you, and you go, "Oh shit!"
Just picking you up, bro.
Yeah, we're chilling.
It's like in Perth when I use the public transport, like trains in Perth, quite a bit to get to and from the airport, or even just into the city. Mm-hmm. Way cheaper than taking my car, and that costs a lot.
Yeah,
it's like $5 ticket straight into the city, takes like half an hour.
Yeah,
but it's always funny watching like a bird or something just walk on the train, then the door's shutting and just taking off, and then like it might be like 1 or 2 stops later, you'll see the bird like walk out. And you're like, bro's just in a completely different suburb now. Like, does he fly back to where he was?
Nah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, like, what's he up to? Like, just
he's
lazy.
like, I got to get up the line. I don't want to fly, man. It's been a big day. I'm just going to take the train.
Yeah, I'm just going to chill on the train with the rest of these people.
We're going to pay for tickets. Like, these losers. I can just hop on.
Like, that dude's in a completely different area.
Man. Yeah. I reckon animals are intelligent enough to kind of pull that stuff off.
Yeah.
Can you imagine flying, watching a train go from one place to the other and thinking, man, that thing's moving. I wonder if I can get on it. And then you get on the roof and you go, yeah, this is cool. But it's kind of dodgy. There's a lot of electricity and stuff up here. And then eventually you just realize
open.
you can, hop inside. Then you come out, you fly up in the sky, you go, I know where I am. Holy shit, this just take me here?
Yeah.
Me.
This is way easier.
Wow.
Just what if it was him commuting to work?
Just, some Zootopia vibes, bro. Have you seen those movies?
I've seen clips. It's one of the things I want to watch.
I'd recommend it. Zootopia, the first one's fucking gangster.
Is there two of them?
I think so, but I might be wrong. I think there's at least one.
This one with is it the rabbit that's a cop?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen the clip of the...
Officer Hops. I think so. I think so. I could be wrong.
I've seen it with the fox who gets those big ice creams and then sells them those small popsicle sticks.
Yep.
I've seen that short. I watched that a lot. She's sitting there following him, riding down.
Yeah, she's furious. That's sort of how they meet.
Meets that mafia boss, and it's a small, it's the big polar bears in there.
Yeah, bro. And it's a little.
And then he just turns the seat.
A rat.
It's a little rat.
Don't like to be bothered.
He puts his hand out. There's a fox kissing it. It's like, what the? What is this show about?
Yeah, you can be a big dog without being a big dog, you know.
Oh, the nuts one I watched was Coco. The first time I watched that movie.
That movie is phenomenal.
Wrecked my life, man.
You cry?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I cried.
I was sitting there. I was with my ex. We were in bed, and then she was
you told me this story.
Bro.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, we should watch a movie," and I was like, "Yeah." And she put it on. I'd never seen it.
Yeah.
And she's talking. She knows she's watched it a million times by the looks of it.
Yeah.
She's mouthing out the words and talking and that. And I'm like, "Oh, so you've seen this a few times? Cool."
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes in, she's rolled over, sleep, and I'm just like, I might as well watch it. It's on.
Yeah.
Bro, by the end of it, I'm sitting there. I woke her up, and she was like, "What's going on?" I was rubbing her eyes and that, and I was like, I'm there with crying. I got tears down my cheeks. I was like, why would you do that to me?
What?
I was like, why would you set that up, full knowing what happens, and then go to sleep? I'm sitting there dance this dude, and
that is the best line, man. Why would you do this to me? Yeah. She's like, I'm sensitive, man.
Yeah, she's like, are you seriously crying? And I was like, remember me. I was like, fuck, that's so sad.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was pretty gobsmacked. Zonny put it on, and because he'd recommended it and said, yeah, you got to watch it. And I kind of thought, it's not going to be that good. And then I watched it and it was mind-blowing, man.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a goodie. I really like the idea of Dia de los Muertos. It's like people having a second life that they get to live where they still remember all of this life but don't have to, live by the rules of the physical reality. You don't have to eat and shit. You can just be a ghost. But as long as you're remembered every day, or every year on that day, you get to just
you get to remain. Yeah,
that's fucking sick.
That's wild because the pain that they go when it showed the guy with the guitar and he's in the hammock and the pain he's going through when the family's forgetting him or no one's remembering him anymore. And then you see everyone else is okay. The ones they're starting to be forgotten are starting to perish further.
Mm.
And then it's that would be I'd like that. That'd be an awesome thing, being able to watch your family remember you and watching them move on and live their life and that.
Yeah,
be pretty cool.
So interesting, man. There's so much about life that we don't know, or death that we don't know.
Nah,
but you kind of you just got to accept it. It's crazy, and I think that those are those sort of root questions and stuff that make me so I guess liberated from the constraints of general expectations. It's oh yeah, so give me a bunch of causes and things that are going on that are really important and all that kind of stuff, and then now put my life in danger. How many of those things do I give a fuck about,
Yeah, it's what do you reach out for in those moments?
Yeah, and it's... Bro, I've nearly died. I took way too many drugs one time, and... A few times, but one time, I've fucking felt like my consciousness was underwater, bro. I felt like I was drowning in my mind, like my thoughts were drowning, and all I wanted was my mum, bro. It was just I just want mum. That's all I want. And she came, and she was there, and my dad was there, and they looked after me, and then I woke up in an ambulance, and none of that shit actually happened.
No, true.
Yeah, bro. It was gnarly. crazy experience. It's a hell of a story, and I'm not proud of it in any way, but I learnt a lot from it, which makes me, capable of talking about it now.
Yeah,
because
become a lot more wary of it.
Yeah, and as much as I could go further into detail, I think the main thing to take away from it there is that there are certain things, certain situations, and drugs as well that will get you to places where you are just so abruptly confronted by death and by the idea of your finite existence and your ultimately your most selfish self, the version of
Yeah,
you that
it
just
shows
goes,
what you lock into.
yeah, your top priority is survive right now.
Yeah.
To experience that in your life, I think is can be a really good thing.
So it's like the
scary,
first
but it's
lesson they'll
good.
teach you in like surf lifesaving or whatever is like, if someone's drowning, don't go to them, throw them something, because they will claw, pull you, drag you down to ensure their survival.
Oh wow.
Even if they're not consciously thinking of it, for them to
Yeah.
survive, it's to push themselves up.
Yeah.
So if you go
Oh
out
wow.
yourself and try to
They're
grab them,
gonna
they
pull you
will
down.
rope you down under the
Oh
water.
my god.
So if someone's drowning, you
That's
always
gnarly.
throw them an inflatable or something. You don't go up to them.
It's crazy how
They'll pull you in.
that's not something humans could have learnt from just intuition. Somebody got drowned.
Oh yeah,
Someone was like, "I got
a few people. Like,
Yeah, I'd say so.
it's like the caveman era. They're going out. Say they're like hunter gatherers, whatever.
Yeah.
To find out what would kill you and what wouldn't, like food wise.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
I always picture like just a caveman with like a rock and a stick, and it's just like, oh mate, eats a red berry, starts foaming at the mouth and drops, and he's like, no.
No.
And then goes to the next one, another red berry, eats it, and he's like, tick.
Yeah, all good, yeah.
And then some dude just eating a mushroom and just fucking like spacing out, and they're like, those are fun.
He seems to be having a good time.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty solid. Like, people had to find that out.
I
like
know.
along the way.
Yeah.
They had to be like, cool, so that giant mammoth that we're trying to hunt down, he can throw people around quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we'll trap him a different way.
We'll bring a few more people.
Yeah, we'll bring a lot more. Because the way that humans started hunting woolly mammoths is they used to, very strategic back in way back when, but they'll dig massive pits and then force the woolly mammoth back into it to a point that they couldn't get back out. And they'd slowly
just kill it
like that. Because it couldn't get out, it couldn't fight back. That's how they used to hunt down woolly mammoths.
Fucking humans.
It wasn't like they just
crazy.
kept throwing sticks at it until it dropped.
It wasn't like
They learned that wasn't working.
Yeah.
They learned that wasn't working. So the way to get around it was, we'll dig a hole, trap it in it, and then
Get it slowly.
we'll get it. Yeah. Like the
That's
human
phenomenal.
mind of like to figure that sort of stuff out.
The things you can do when you got to survive, man. I mean, humans used to fast all the time. You get a mammoth, eat real good for like 3 weeks, and then just not eat for another 3 weeks. When you try to find another mammoth or trap it or
Keep
do
trying
whatever.
to hunt something down and
Yeah.
finding new ways to do stuff.
I heard a comedian once say, people talk about the difficulty of this time, but I just think, we've built all the bridges.
Mm.
Can you imagine what it would be like to go somewhere and then go, there's a river.
Yeah.
I gotta traverse
I gotta
across
go
the
through
river.
that.
It's like, no, there's just a bridge. It's
You
there.
Look 100 feet to your left, and there's a
It's a huge, fucking, not going to be knocked over by anything but a huge flood or an earthquake. It's
Yeah.
solid. It's not a rickety bit of wood that or a rope bridge that you're swinging across. Like,
Yeah.
you can just get on there in your car that weighs a ton and just drive
just
across
drive
it.
off.
It's all good.
Other cars are on there already.
Yeah.
then
That's crazy.
But then some people are trapped in that head of like, they're looking at the river and they're like, we can't get across. There's a bridge over there. And they're like, I don't want to do that.
Well, that's getting analogous. I don't know what the word is, but that's kind of deep. It's like the bridge in this situation isn't a physical bridge. It's actually like progress or steps forward. And so many people are looking at the river going, I don't want to walk all the way down to that bridge. It's not fucking, this river is a problem. It's like, there's a bridge. It's just a little bit further from where you are.
So that bridge is a K away. The river's 200 meters wide. I'll just go across.
Yeah.
No,
Like
but
by the time
it's
you're
gonna be a lot
halfway, you're going to
easier.
be at the bridge.
Yeah. You'll figure it out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Once again, the old checkbook, mate. Like,
Yeah.
river currents strong. No.
I reckon there was a person a day that got signed up to be the guy that ate everything. So there's a list of people and you're going, okay, you're first, it's your day today, and you spend the whole day just going, please God,
Yeah, just
Nobody bring anything dodgy today. And then the next day, it's the next person's turn, and you just sigh of relief, and you just wait for the next time your cycle comes around.
you're like, crap.
Yeah.
You're gonna eat this mystery berry.
Yeah.
I'm actually sick today, and they're like, are you?
Hey, what have you eaten?
Yeah, what did you eat before this? I saw another one, same sort of thing, but it was like, how many food testers for royalty back in the day died because they had allergies? Like, like a chef would make a feed, bring it out, the taste tester would have to eat it before the king. They have an allergic reaction, and the chef gets killed for it because they think he's trying to poison the king. But
oh my god!
Do you reckon that would have happened?
That would have happened. That's such a cool thought, dude. Fucking lurking variables, eh?
Just like, he's trying to kill the king, and it's like, no, that dude was allergic to shellfish. Like, I couldn't account for that. Like, I know everything the king likes, not the peasant that you guys use to test the food.
Yeah, true.
Like, shit.
True. Far out, that's wild.
But yeah, I saw that, and I was like, huh.
Dude, that's a real cool thought. I mean, not for the people that died, but it's it's. I like to laugh at the gaps in humans' structures to keep themselves safe. There's always something that you just go, but this could happen.
There's a reason why that's there.
Yeah.
Like how cleaning agents have do not ingest. Like, well, some idiot's been drinking that, so
That's so crazy.
They figured out that's bad for you. You're like, the thing that cleans a washing machine is bad for you. Oh,
Have you heard of the assassin's teapot?
no.
So there's a teapot that has it has 2 holes on it, air holes in it. No, 1. Yeah, it's got one hole, and the pot inside has 2 chambers. And so when you hold your finger on the air hole, if you pour it,
Opens the other chamber, and then
and then when you take your finger off, and then you can do a mixture of both, so you can just pour tea for everybody from the same pot, but kill one person.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's nuts.
That's so cool.
Bro, I'm checking everyone's kettles now.
Yeah, new fear unlocked.
Yeah, sick. Cheers. I probably want a cup of tea. Maybe.
Yeah. How was that tea, bro?
Yeah.
Going good?
The old spy movies where he's like, I switched the glasses. You're like,
Yeah. I love that shit.
Bro, like Kingsman where he kills
Dude,
what's his name?
Alfred. I just saw the clip of that the other day. I know exactly
Oh,
what
when
you're
he
talking
shifts
about.
the glasses
I haven't
around.
even seen that movie.
Have you not?
No.
Bro, Kingsman's a good movie.
I've seen the first Kingsman, and I've seen the second Kingsman. Is that the third?
No, that's the first one when Eggsy kills them. Oh no, it's the second one where they got the things in their neck. Ends up rooting the no, it might be the first, Kincaid. I'm trying to think which one it is now, because now I'm trapped. No, the first one's when he becomes an agent. The second one's when he actually he kills Samuel L. Jackson, where he's like scared of blood.
Oh, are you talking about Samuel L. Jackson dying?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was talking about there's another one.
No, that's the movie where he
glasses.
swaps the glasses around because he finds out the Kingsman's boss is.
Are you talking about Alfred? Like I'm calling it Alfred, but it's not Michael Caine. Thank you. I know his name.
His name's not Alfred.
I just couldn't. Yeah, but he's fucking he's Alfred.
Batman.
Yeah.
What's the point of all these push-ups, Bruce, if you can't lift a beam? Batman's like under it. Just getting roasted whilst being roasted.
Yeah. Getting roasted in a burning building without fire touching you, eh? Oh god.
It's like the classic meme of not classic, it's one that I've seen a few times, but it's like imagine getting roasted by Pinocchio for 5 minutes straight and his nose not growing.
Yeah.
You're like,
I gotta piss. Have a think about this one while I'm going in terms of Pinocchio. What happens when Pinocchio says, "My nose is going to grow"? There's a paradox, eh?
Does it stay still?
But then he's lying.
Yeah, because he's lying so it grows, but then he's told the truth so it shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it grows a little bit.
I think he implodes.
Yeah, it just goes in.
Yeah.
It's a flat nose.
It goes the other way.
Looks like a Ken doll, just drawn on.
Got a little bit of that thing.
Yeah, mate.
Candy smoke. He's good.
Yeah, I had a durry last night, and it was not good.
I'm not a fan anymore, eh?
Nah. I want to quit when I get back.
Yeah.
That'll be the last vape.
I reckon just drink water, man. Water's good.
Yeah, I usually drink at work. It's about 3 litres a day.
Look at that. Look at that water. Look at how much water is there. And
It's
then,
full of salt.
well, it's got to come somewhere.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Get it?
Yeah, I know.
Bro, I've been, honestly, at this point, I'm pretty sure I must have a kid out there somewhere because I've been just dropping dad jokes
Bro,
all over the show, bro. I must be due for one. I'm ready.
There's one somewhere.
Yeah, hard.
Bro, I'll drop dad jokes all day, but I don't want to have the kid. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I want to have some one day, but
I like the idea of having a kid when I can fucking look after it without, with the hardest part about parenting being parenting and not just keeping the kid alive.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to be in a financial position to do that, and it's a bold statement, but I'm ambitious. I've got shit I want to do and achieve, and I believe I'm going to get to a point where I can do that because I think that's what people deserve. That's why the whole food, water, shelter thing is so important to me in terms of that aspect of growing new life. You give every kid now the opportunity to be able to
Have the basics.
have the basics, man, and it's going to help so much shit. People talk about generational cycles, you know, and how, you know, if somebody's been in a rough situation and they haven't learned how to look after themselves and then they have kids, they're not going to know how to look after the kids, you know, and it's going to go round and round. And yes, people come out of those situations and do all right, but for the most part, it's not the case. And if you have access to the foundational, you know, things that keep you alive, it changes that equation. I don't think that there's any way around that. I think that's just true.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. But
I look back on my upbringing with, because I started working for livestock with my old man, and he'd done it my whole life, driving trucks and that. And he always said never do it, like never become a truck driver, because it's just not the life.
yeah,
When I was farming at my last job, it was coming to a head of like, this is going to crumble soon. So I called my dad and said, I know you told me never to do it, but can I talk to your boss and get a job driving trucks?
Yeah.
Just for the meantime. So he said yes, got a job there, and I worked there for about 3 and a bit years. And I went from driving the small truck, just doing local small jobs, to bigger and bigger, and then doing line haul full time. And then to the point where I left, I'd start Sunday morning, wouldn't come back to the house until Friday night. And I'd sleep in my truck the whole week and whatnot, which killed my social life 100%. Like the Saturday would be a big send, or Friday night would be a big send, and then I'm back at it Sunday morning and I'm off again. But then I sat down with the old man probably a month or two before I quit and went to Australia. But he's not one for words. Like a few mates that have met him are like, yeah, he didn't say anything besides hello and whatever. And it's like, yeah, he's not one for talking much. But having a few beers with him one day, and I just said to him, I was like, fucking thank you. I've never been able to say it to you before, but now that I'm doing the same job you did when I was growing up and seeing like how much you had to do to make money, I was like, and you were still there. Like most of the time you were home. When you were home, you were locked in on us. Like school holidays, would spend a week with you in the truck, like traveling around and whatnot. And it's like, in my position now, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine like me doing this and having a wife and kids at home.
Yeah.
And just being like, I'm by myself in a truck and my family's at home raising themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, the fact that you were able to come back and do it is nuts to me.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't think of doing that now.
It's beautiful for you to express that gratitude, man.
Yeah. And then Dad just kind of, for the first time ever, opened up a bit more. And he was just like, it was hard. He was like being on the road, and it was like, there's every opportunity when you're driving trucks, especially in this country with our roads and whatnot, that you could die. Like you could have a tyre blowout, steering fail and crash or whatever, or fatigue and whatnot. So there's every chance that every time you start that truck, you might not turn it off yourself that night. And he's like, knowing that and knowing that you guys wouldn't know until a point, or like just not being around you, he's like, it was hard.
Yeah.
But he's like, I did it, and I made sure to do it so that you guys could grow up good.
That's a good man right there, bro. A very good man.
Yeah, I was like, that's nuts. So, but the amount of times you'd come home and we'd be like, oh, fuck, Dad's home.
Yeah.
And then, like, thinking back on that, like, Dad, we were assholes growing up, eh?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you weren't the best, but, like, you weren't the worst.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
hard.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And then it was back to just like, oh, well, beer.
Yeah. I've had similar experiences in conversations with my dad and my mom, and it's a good place to be. It's a good point to acknowledge whenever you get to that point in life where you go, oh shit, these people have just been working every day and doing it and showing up every day. And no excuses, no days off, they just have to do it and they move. And I will always tip my hat to any human with the resilience to not only do that as a first, but raise a family whilst doing that. You deserve recognition for that. It's not an easy thing to do.
Dad was my age. I'm 26, and Dad had my brother at 24.
Yeah.
And so, like, in 2 years' time, he had me, so we're 4 years apart.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could not think of... My mum's 8 years younger, so I think she was 18 when she had my brother.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it's like, yeah, like, by then you guys had a house, you had 2 kids. Like, fuck. It's like, well, I wake up some days and I'm just happy to have food in the fridge. But,
that's enough for me, man.
Yeah, I'd be stoked if there's a Red Bull left from the other day.
Yeah.
It's like, but man, you guys had like you were paying a mortgage, you had kids at home, and
yeah,
it's like, yeah, the times were different because they managed to get the house, and Dad was working at the time. He was working at the lumber mill in Maipawa.
Yeah,
and Mum was a part-time nanny, and they bought a house in the middle of town.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like that no more.
No.
Oh,
they got theirs for, it was like 170k.
Yeah.
In like early 90s.
Yeah.
And now it's valued at almost $1 million.
Yeah.
And they got evaluated like 900,000.
I think that's the craziest thing a big misconception, which is becoming more known now, but for a while there it was, the conversation usually led to, yeah, but things were more expensive and you got paid a lot less and all of this sort of stuff. Things weren't as expensive, but you also got paid a lot less. And then now, things are more expensive, but you guys get paid a lot more. And you go, but we don't.
No.
And comparatively, the gap between what I get paid and what I need to make in order to do what you've done is just getting bigger. Yeah, I'm making more money, but it doesn't mean anything because I'm fucking going up against this Goliath that's going to take me 30 years to get. And then by the time I get it, what have I got? Like a house? Like, okay.
Yeah, like my rental,
Great.
I'm paying
50.
I'm paying a mortgage. Like I'm paying more than a mortgage for our rental. In Australia, it's $720 a week for our rent.
Jesus.
Like, yeah, there's 3 of us paying it.
Yeah.
But even then, like, it's a chunk of all of our pay, and like we've still got the expenses of the gas, power, water.
That's literally, it's not even keeping the lights on. It's just keeping the place that holds the lights.
Yeah.
That's
and then you get people like, oh, but it's easy. You got 3 people, and you're like, yeah, but it's 3 people with like varying lives who are trying to get a head start.
Yep.
And we can't, and we're working together to do it.
Mm.
And so that's the whole reason I moved to Australia, was for the more money sort of aspect.
Yeah.
But even in Australia, it's, we're getting paid a lot more, but taxes are still real high over there, and cost of living's high. The only thing that's cheaper there is fuel.
Right.
And that's because they can refine it themselves.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing cheaper. The rest of it's still pricey.
Yeah.
The only good part is, with working in the mines, they pay for your food and that while you're there.
Yeah.
But it's when you get home and you're like, it's back to proper reality.
Yeah, and even just the fact that you have to do that, got to go somewhere else, work in a different environment and play by different rules. And kind of similarly to when you first started working, there's an aspect of it that you have to put on hold. The amount of socializing you can do, the amount of time you can spend not working becomes less, and that's that's just the reality of it. But that's why I always fucking commend you, man, because it's not an easy thing to do. It's an even harder thing to do, and come out with money. So many people go over there and do it and just
end up gambling or drinking themselves through it, because alcohol's a lot more over there.
Buy a jet ski, spend the next 2 years just trying to pay it off. And,
I've done that with a car. I bought a expensive car.
You're a good worker, mate. You got your priorities straight. You didn't buy that without thinking. You're like, this is an investment.
It's an investment, that car. It's going to be worth something soon.
Yeah.
But like going over there, the big aspect is like, family is my priority. I'll move heaven and earth to come back to see family, and also people that I've made into my family, sort of thing.
Mm.
And it's like, being over there, the time zones are, at the moment, because WA don't acknowledge daylight savings.
Cool.
It's just that's the time. Just all year round.
It's
It's,
good.
we don't
It's
vary
good.
anything.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but like over here
weird.
at the moment, you guys are 5 hours ahead during daylight savings ending. You guys are 4 hours ahead, and like keeping in contact with people back here is getting not harder, but it is more difficult than what like would be preferable, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But like trying to keep up with family and all those sorts of affairs of what's going on back here, it's hard
Yeah.
because you go to work, and when I'm at work, I'm locked into work. Like I've once again chosen an industry where you could die at any moment, something can go wrong, and like the amount of weights we're carrying on our trucks is, if I lose control of that truck and the trailers come up behind, there's no second thought of it ending. But like that, but trying to keep in contact with people back home, and if something goes down back here, it's like I'm shit. Like I'm ages away. But then coming back home for my week off in Perth, it's not really a week off sort of thing. Like I can't just go see a mate down the road, or like I try calling people back home like yourself and that all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just like people
It's
back
different.
home, even though I've got the time off, people back here are still working.
Yeah.
And you're like, you try to call them and they're like, sorry bro, I'm at work, I'll catch up later. And then 2 days later they message going, sorry bro, fucking I ended up passing out. And you're like, for 2 days straight, bro? And they're like, yeah, I just, whatever. It's like, no, I understand. Like, you've all got working lives.
Yeah, there's got to be some form of understanding there. It's just so different, man. Being long distance and talking with somebody versus having them there in your environment, it just changes everything. It's whatever you're doing on a phone is never quite as important as what's happening in real life.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, but it's hard when it's something as important as, catching up with the bro or whatever. Like I had my mate Sam call the other day. I was on my way to a wedding.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in so long, and I really wanted to catch up with him, have a proper yarn. And we started into it, and I just went, I don't have time for this. This sucks. I would love to just sit right now for probably a good 2-3 hours, and
that's what our phone calls usually end up being.
Yeah, literally.
Like, just a 5-minute call, Seamus. And they're like, bro.
Quick 5-minute call. I'm looking at the clock, being like, I don't have anything on till 5. I could do this. Like, it's like midday.
2 hours later.
Gets to 4 o'clock. I'm like, bro, I gotta go.
Sorry, bro. Like,
yeah. It's a good thing, bro. It's beautiful to have friends that you can just pick up the phone and yarn with, like, you see them yesterday and have a good chat. And it's a credit to the time we're in, man. Built the bridges. You didn't talk about a bridge, a piece of technology that can instantly communicate with anyone around the world is
and
pretty
like
freaking
video chat to be able to like see them.
Yep.
And it's better
no
than texting.
lag,
And
you know. I mean, the connection stuff, obviously, everyone has their moments, but it's a lot better than it used to be.
Are you there? Nope, nah, he's frozen.
You hear me? Hey? Oh.
And then you're just by yourself in a store in Australia going, Seamus, you there?
Got your headphones on, people looking at you going, it's crazy dude over there.
Yeah.
Headphones is such a hack in life to be able to just cruise through places without anyone.
I've sort of I've massively helped my social anxiety.
Yeah.
Was headphones. There's a suggestion that you gave me. It was like, bro, just chuck them in, put your music on, and walk around the store. And it's like, oh, maybe. And I started doing that, and now it's way better.
I'm glad that helped.
Chuck them off like noise cancelling, so you can still hear around you in that.
Yep.
And like just getting that notice of like everyone's just doing their thing.
Yeah.
Like I used to have that thought of like everyone's staring at me like, what have I done?
Yeah.
And then now it's like, bro, that dude's just like walking past.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not focusing on me at all.
You're just like grooving.
Yeah.
Through the supermarket.
I've been caught out doing it a bit.
Same, bro.
Like started singing a song or something and then seeing someone look over their shoulder and you're like, oh, they can hear that.
That's right. There's a world outside of these headphones.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'm glad it helped with that, bro. Because it's that's not a nice experience to have to feel the pressure of that every time you go to a public place and stuff. And
yeah, like just the basics of like, I want to go to the grocery store and get shopping, but I don't want to go because there's people there.
Mm.
And then realizing there's never going to be a moment you go to a supermarket and there's no one else there.
I'd love to go out in public, but the public's always there.
Yeah, you're like, nasty people.
Yeah, we've become very individualist, and we focus a lot on what we've got going on, and so when it comes to going out into a crowd of random people, it can be quite overwhelming. And I don't think that it's I don't know if there's any reason for it, but I think a lot of people experience it, I think it's a pretty common thing that you go out and you go, ooh. And I've found it's just something that's gotten easier with age. The
Yeah.
older I've gotten, the more I've gone, well, really, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm about. I know that if anything approaches me, I'll just kill it with kindness and continue on my way,
Just, how's it going?
Yeah.
The Australians aren't good with that. If you randomly just say hello to someone that's looking at you, like, how's it, mate? And
Oh, really?
they give you like a confused look and then carry on walking. You're like, that was English, wasn't it? Like, I'm sure.
Kiwis, farm boys, we're just like, can't you nod and say hello to people? Isn't that just how it works? It's like, no. No, that's not how the rest of the world works.
Saying like turbo and getting the old like, oh, you must be from New Zealand. Yeah.
Well spotted.
Yeah, nailed it, mate.
What was it? The
right
tattoo, the chur, the accent?
Bro,
Tell me, Sherlock.
Tamil is the one that gets the most laughs.
Yeah.
Is when people are like, you from New Zealand? I always just go, I hope so.
I just woke up one morning and
this dude had drawn on my arm. Like, have you seen Far Cry 3? I woke up and this dude was just tattooing me.
Damn. That'd be a wild thing to wake up to, eh?
I've heard stories of mates. So there's one that I used to work with, and he's got a massive Kenworth emblem tattooed on his arm.
What's Kenworth?
The KW, like it's a truck brand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, you must really like Kenworth. And he was like, bro, it happened when I was 18. And I got blackout drunk. This dude had a tattoo gun. And I was like, did you ask for it? He's like, I told him I'd like want one day. And then I blacked out and woke up with it.
Oh,
and it's like, it's huge. And like, you can't cover that. Oh. And he's like, it's still like, whatever. It's a part of me now. He's
not like I can take it off, mate.
Yeah, he's 30 odd years old and he's just got this really poorly done Kenworth badge on his arm. And it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that he has to just be like, yep,
but
it happened.
I want it to be on record, so I'd like for you to tell the story of your tattoo when you came to the gig in Gizzy.
Oh.
Bro, so
big
Beth had created a beautiful piece of art, which I then had shared on a story or showed you in person.
Was at your house on your phone's lock screen.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was at the house down by the roundabout. Yeah. And I was, shall you say, inebriated to the point that when I saw the lock screen, I thought it was a moving image. And it's a girl's face with the Grim Reaper riding a skateboard in it, and like hair. You can see the hands holding the head. And I remember looking at it and seeing the hair like waving. I was very, very inebriated. And I was like, yo, Seamus, bro, how'd you get your lock screen to move? And I think that's like the first night. This is the first night I met you, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Or like been back to your house after a gig at the common room.
Yeah, it was early days.
And then you were like, it's a still image, bro. And I was like, nah, G, it's moving. And you were very adamant. I'm like, nah, it's not. And I was like, bro, send that to me, I'll get it tattooed. And Seamus was like, yep, cool, like whatever.
I thought it was just a meme, bro.
I was like, no, bro, send it, like I'll get it done.
Sure thing, you will.
And so he did. He sent it. Like the next morning, I checked my phone and saw the photo you sent, and I, for the first few seconds, was like, all right, what the fuck you sent me that for?
Yeah.
And then I remembered, I was like, oh, that's right, I was gonna get it tattooed. And then you and the Suns boys had a gig in Gizzy, and you tried offering us tickets to go see it with yous. We said no. Like, no, we're busy, we're not going to make it, whatever. Made up some excuse. And then I tried valiantly for a few weeks leading up to the gig to get it tattooed. Like, I hit up some artists and they were all booked and whatever. And I ended up meeting, was it Lily that works at the common room? And then she said her mum's a tattoo artist. And so I got her details and messaged and got it sorted. And we booked it for like 2 days before the Gizzy gig. And, ended up fumbling, she couldn't do it. And then she booked it for the Saturday, which was the day of the gig. And I was like, yep, cool. And she was like, we can do it at like 4 in the afternoon. And I was like, well, the problem is we're leaving at like 10 o'clock to go up to Gizzy to go see the boys play. Can we do it any further earlier? And she managed to move some things around. We got it at 9 in the morning. And I just sent her like dimensions. I said like 15 centimeters. Like I want a big piece.
Yeah.
Didn't realise how big 15 centimetres is.
It's big, bro.
And so I got there, and then she brought out the template, and I was like, ooh, that's a big tattoo. So I placed it on my leg. She starts tattooing at like 9 in the morning. I'm at a random lady's house I've never met, that I met from trying to hit on her daughter. And now I'm hunched over in a caravan getting tattooed. And like, took probably 5 hours or so. Finished, and then wrapped it all up. Paid her, and I was like, yo, sweet, thank you, awesome. And then went home, literally grabbed my bags from my bed, chucked them in the car, picked up the bro Nick and Spooner, chucked them in, and then we drove up to Gizzy. And
how long was that drive, bro? Like,
I did it quick. Like, I did it in about 3 and a bit hours. I think we were up there.
yeah.
Started drinking at like 5, and then at this point I hadn't washed it. It was still in Glad wrap, like poorly looked after.
Yep.
And then took the Glad wrap off, but got up there, started drinking, and then we were like, sweet, let's go hit the boys' gig. Got there, and then as we walked in, it was perfect. Seamus was walking backstage, like getting everyone ready to do the gig, and then I was like, bro, Seamus, yelled out. He's like, what's going on, man? I was like, I got something to show you.
Pulls his pants.
And he's like, can I show you like can you show me after the gig? And I was like, nah, bro, I got to show you now. I was like, I'm here right now. I was like, I got the tattoo. And he was like,
no,
wait, there's no way. Did you actually?
I can't believe it.
And I was like, bro, I got it. Look. And I just instinctively just dropped my pants in the foyer of this fucking bar.
It's so good.
And was like, look at this, bro. And it's a full like size of my hand on my thigh.
Yeah.
Just a full piece. And like seeing Seamus's face like melt.
I was, man. I couldn't believe it.
There's no fucking way you did that.
Because you know, so many people will say, "Yeah, okay, I'd love to get that as a tattoo." It's not going to happen, and you just did it. Not only did it, but did it on the day, and then so it took 4 or 5 hours. Then drove 3 hours to come to a gig. And pulled your pants down in the middle of a bar and was just like, look. I was like, I love you. Where have you been all my life?
At
like,
first, he was just stoked that we turned up because we lied about going to the gig.
Yeah,
so
I thought you weren't coming.
We bought the tickets, got to the gig, which surprised him already. And then next second, I've like pants to my knees in a crowded bar. Like, Seamus, bro, look. Once again, I was inebriated when I turned up, so I wasn't really thinking about everyone else. I just locked in on Seamus.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was like, oh, look, pants down, fucking this big tattoo. He's like, there's no fucking way. And I was like, yeah, but I did it this morning. I literally got off the table and drove here. I was like, fuck.
You're a good bastard, mate. I love that story. It really sums up for me how dependable you are. I know it sounds like a wild thing to jump to, but I think it makes so much sense in my brain. Not many people walk the talk, you know. You do that. You really do.
If I make a promise, I keep it.
Yeah.
You know, I learned that. I've got it tattooed on my shoulder. There's it wasn't a fire brigade call out, but it was medical related. Old fella that I used to work with was the boss's dad. He was doing some work around the farm and he ended up having an accident. Nothing major, like he was fine, talking and cooperative and whatnot. But he was very neglectful towards Māori people.
Right.
So he's quite racist towards us.
Yeah.
So to me, he was always flat-faced, wouldn't talk to me besides saying hello out of courtesy, but ended up helping him out because he had a fall and broke his hip. So we got an ambulance out there and I said to him, like, think of me as a firefighter, not as a friend of your son's or whatever. So I was writing down the details, gave it to the ambos, but he was very old school farmer. He was like, oh, I'm fine. Like I was saying a pain scale of 1 to 10, like, how are you?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm fine, whatever. And so I sat there, his wife turned up, and they'd been together like their whole lives, basically.
Yeah.
I sent her to go grab his medication. She left, and I just said to John, I was like, just tell me what is going on. I promise you'll be home tonight, you'll be able to hug Betty, and you'll be back to normal. Like, just please, help me help you. Like, I promise you'll be back.
Yeah.
And he said yes, told me everything properly, so I could pass it on to the ambos and get him sorted. They took him away, and then the flatmate I lived with on the farm was John's grandson. And he came into my room at like 5:30, whatever, 6 in the morning. Threw my door open, scared the shit out of me. And then I was like, what's going on? And he said, oh, Granddad passed away.
Oh.
He said he'd broken his hip previously, which I got the records of, but the metal plate had shifted onto an artery, and the doctors, when they opened him up, didn't account for it, and it slipped, cut the artery. They couldn't stop the bleeding. He ended up passing away.
Oh, fuck.
So that was my first of now many tattoos, but I got it done on my shoulder. So it's, he used to always say, what's wrong now? But no matter what, you'd just be standing there at the yards, like drafting sheep or whatever, and he'd pull up to the yard and just stare at you. Then after like a couple minutes of like, you okay, John? Mm-hmm. We're like, what's wrong now? Like, nothing. He's like, there's always something wrong. We're like, no. But he always used to say, what's wrong now? So I've got, what's wrong now, his full name, the date he was born, the date he died. That was my first tattoo, and I got that to be like, I fucked up. You're always told not to promise a patient something. That was the first time I promised that he would be home. and he died. So it's permanently tattooed on my shoulder. If I make a promise, I keep it. Like, I fucked up there and failed and didn't keep my promise. So now he's permanently marked, and he made it openly known that he was against Māori and made jokes about Māoris being useless and untidy and yada yada. So for a Māori person to get it tatted on his shoulder, he wouldn't be happy with. But the reason behind it is, even though I didn't I didn't mind him. He was a good enough dude. Besides that, like, I'd always make a point of like, hey John, stop it, like whatever. But yeah, I got it tatted on my shoulder just as a constant. Don't break a promise.
That's
so when
beautiful.
I told you, like, bro, I'm gonna get that tattoo,
I
fucking
happening.
got that tattoo. Like, even though I was inebriated beyond belief, I still was like, I remembered that of like, I need to get this tattoo.
Yeah.
And so yeah, now it's a big.
That's a pretty. That's a pretty crazy cornerstone of yourself to have from a really gnarly experience. I must say, as much as I'm sure we don't have enough time in the day to go through them all, the amount of stories and experiences and stuff that you've had, and the things that you've, gone through in your life, and with firefighting and all sorts of stuff, bro, and the amount of positivity that you still hold and the amount of goodness you have in your heart, I just want to commend you and say that it's one of the coolest things to see, and it's great to be a part of your life. And to witness somebody like you doing what you're doing, and just know that there is a way that people can, go through gnarly shit and take goodness and go, all right, here's what I've learnt from my experiences, and I'm gonna use my time now going forward to try better myself and others' experiences by
seeing that bad and being able to trying to correct it so no one else has to see it. Because I joined the fire service at 16 and saw my first fatality 2 months into being a new recruit.
Yeah.
And it was a suicide. So I was like, seeing that at a young age is really.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone else. Like, I've seen more than enough for 3-4 people in their lifetime, or seen more than most people will see in their lifetime, and then being able to like try not to let anyone else see it, but also wanting people to not experience, but like volunteer, like, because it's a massive help to the community that no one does it. Like when no one turns out to a siren going off, that's when it'll all fall down. But like being able to see all of that, share the experiences, and take from each bit. Like, there was moments where I stopped going to call-outs after a medical call on a Christmas day that it ruined, not my career, but the path I was on.
Yeah.
It cut me down quite a bit, seeing what happened. But it's just learning from that and trying to push on to others, like, positivity.
Yeah.
Like, I've got it tattooed on my arm, so it's one of my first tattoos, but it says sometimes an empty gun is better than a loaded one. And that's when I tried committing myself using a firearm, and it jammed and came up empty. And then I got it tattooed there on my forearm at the front, so that I can constantly read it.
Yeah, don't fucking forget it, bro.
So it's whenever something starts, like, because I don't get them, like, I project happiness and joy as much as I can. But there are those moments, especially in a different country away from family and friends, where I have still got those moments of self-doubt and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just reading that. I was like, all right, I've read it. I know what it means. I understand it. How can I push the opposite agenda? How can I make today worth it for tomorrow?
I myself have had my own times where I felt pretty shit, bro. And there's been, that voice being like, I'm done with all this. I don't want to be here anymore. And I've found that by some weird roundabout way, that voice is what has given me the most compassion. Yeah. Because after experiencing that, it's like, I don't want anybody else to feel that way. I don't want my worst enemy to be in that mindset.
No.
That's terrible. Oh, do you know what? You want to hear a crazy line? The devil has the most compassion because he's willing to play that role.
Shit.
Yeah, bro. That's so crazy, man. Zonnie dropped that on me a little while ago, and it took me, I'm still trying to mull it over. I don't know.
Yeah, like break that down.
That down, man. That's crazy. It really messes with a lot of your preconceived ideas of the devil and the idea of good and evil, and it's a tickler, man. It'll get your brain going for sure.
Because like at that moment, in those moments, it's I used to be religious, not now, but it's that sort of like, in those moments, that's who's there. Like, at your deepest, darkest, that's the one who's reaching out to you the most.
Yep.
Is like that being. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's a bit of a twist. I'm thinking we're getting to the end.
Yep.
And I don't really do anything particular with endings, just like the beginnings, because I think that this should always just be a yarn.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's a conversation.
Yeah.
That's why there's no wrong answers about it. But I always put out there if there's anything that you want to plug or anything that any nuggets of gold, even though you've already just given a few there to finish, so I don't feel like you need to add more. But any bits of positivity or just anything towards the conversation concept, have final thoughts on it before we call it a day?
Don't have anything to plug because most of my social media is just photos of trucks, really.
Sick.
I stay out of the public eye. It's something that I'm trying to work on is self-image. Like, I'm real bad for if we do group photos and that, I'll stay away from them. I'm working on that gently.
I'll take the photo.
Yeah, like I'm the photographer, bro.
Yeah.
And then it's the point of like people being like, I've got no photos of you. We've been close mates for like 10 years. And you're like, nice.
Yep, I'm a ghost.
You're like, good, keep it in your head, mate. Remember me. Throwback to Coco.
I knew you were going to do that.
But yeah, there was one that I said to you, fucking, because like with the different time zones, I know that if it's when I'm getting up for work, like I get up at 3 a.m. So for you guys, it's what, 10 o'clock at night, something like that. Yeah, close to it. But like, it's when you're like talking to someone. When I message and get a reply straight away, and I'm like, bro, it's like midnight.
What are you doing?
What are you up to? I know you've got work tomorrow. And it was when you were like, I know, bro. I'm like doom scrolling in that, and then I was just straight away. I was like, what can I say to like? Because I'm doing the same thing, but I'm getting ready for work, so it's okay for me. I was like, homie needs to go to sleep so he can go to work. And I was like, bro, you can't enjoy tomorrow today. Like, put it to rest. Like, you might be sitting there like, what am I going to do tomorrow? I got all these plans. I can't wait. And it's like, yeah, well, get some rest, like perk it up because you can't enjoy it today. Like, that's tomorrow's little gem.
Hell yeah, bro. And that's a hell of a gem to end on, man. I love that.
So when are you getting my tattoo?
This year.
Nice.
Done deal. I'm not breaking that promise. Fuck yeah. Love it. What a good little chat.